Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me in another video. So today we're going to be talking about some new bags that stood out to me lately from Balenciaga, Gucci, and Louis Vuitton. On my community tab, I like to do these polls. It's always fun to get feedback from you guys when it comes to these bags. And let's just get into it. Here we've got Balenciaga. So I do think we're seeing right now still that very strong aftertaste of the Demna era. This very well could be from the Demna era. I think it is, just based on the styling, or it could have been from the team. But of course, these collections are designed months to a year in advance. You definitely sense there is Demna or like his team with this line. So here we've got new iterations of both the City and the Rodeo bag. Now the City, of course, is like an iconic bag from the Nicolas Guesquet era. The Rodeo is Demna's it bag. And we've got these bags in this brown crackled leather kind of look. Like the corners on these bags look quite worn, and I think it's done in that kind of Demna way. When I think of shearling bags, I think of cozy, ski chalet, hot cocoa, this soft mountain mood, but this is cozy meets dystopia. This is again why I think it's Demna. Like there's just this like dark Muppet vibe, kind of endearing and strange at the same time, but it also has this bow detail which kind of feels random but like also feels in line with the Demna aesthetic. Again, I think of the whole bag charm trend very much in line with the Rodeo, so sure, why not put like this wrapping paper bow? Feels very holiday. This is also a style we've been seeing a lot of brands lean into. Chanel has their bow bags, Dior has their bow bags. Of course, Jonathan Anderson even added bows to the Lady Dior, so I can see what Balenciaga is doing here. They wanted to create their own version. I don't know if it feels so integrated, but I think it's again to encourage the over accessorizing of bags, right? And that's what made the Rodeo bag in concept quite successful, like the personalization, making it like Jane Birkin, so it's not meant to look so intentional. Like when I look at the Lady Dior, like that feels more integrated, where it's more of that bag charm concept. I'm not really personally drawn to this myself, but I could easily see somebody like a Kardashian or Jenner going to like Aspen and wearing a bag like this. I'm sure we'll probably see it out with the shield sunglasses. There is a look for this bag. It's just not my personal aesthetic. Styling wise, you can see it's done in this very Demna way, like the oversized jeans, shield glasses, like you get that Demna Balenciaga energy. Now, when I asked you guys your thoughts in this poll, the Rodeo style, 22% of you voted for that, 14% voted for the shearling La City, and then 64% of you said neither. Now, in terms of comments, no thank you, I would pass on both. My bag does not need to be worn. And then the next person says PP, Pier Paolo Pacioli, trying to nail cute aesthetic on predecessors, edgy bags. Yikes, you should try to focus on new bags. Now, this is actually what's available now. So again, this was before Pier Paolo Pacioli. I actually think this is Demna or Demna's team. I could be wrong. You can correct me down below, but I think he left around the time when the couture was. So what was that, July? I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think this is still Demna. Maybe there's like crossover between the two. I'm not 100% sure though. Either way, I still feel like with their latest collection, it was like they were trying to do this like transition. I don't know if I'm totally convinced with this like very strong Demna aftertaste. I think of Pier Paolo Pacioli as very like feminine, very pretty, and very colorful, like very bright colors. Like that's what I think of Pier Paolo Pacioli. So that's why I don't think this is his design either. These two designers have very polar opposite aesthetics. Next comment, they're both cute, actually nice pieces to use when it's fall, winter, and something new. So why not? Another comment, I like the Rodeo more. I hate the ribbon. It can be removed, right? I hope it can be removed. It feels like it should be part of this kind of customization thing. It's not something I would typically go for, but I could like a Kardashian, a Jenner, pulling this off so easily. And so switching gears over to Gucci, we've got the Gucci half horse bit shoulder bag. Now this one, when I saw it on the runway, it kind of reminded me of the Celine Romy. Again, that kind of like dipped in shape. But now that I'm getting a better image of this, it actually reminds me more of like the Row 90s with the kind of like softened rectangular shape. It does come in multiple sizes, but I actually really do like the half horse bit motif. Like it's a little bit different from Gucci. Like I'm not a Marmont person. I'm not really into a lot of the branding, but something about the half horse bit, especially on some of these like vintage styles, I actually really like the how the horse bit, it's like half and it's like quite big. It's still unexpected, but it of course nods to Gucci's heritage. Still has like a statement. It's not an overt like form of branding. While I'm not a Gucci girl, like I actually like this motif. It kind of reminds me of when Tom Ford did those like really gorgeous, like very Halston-esque like dresses, and then there were these like beautiful like abstract hardware details. Playing with the horse bit motif and abstracting it in different shapes is more interesting to me. I feel like that could be expanded on, and I think Tom Ford played with that idea quite a bit. For me, my favorite era of Gucci is Tom Ford 90s. That's of course my own personal aesthetic, but I think as of recently, like the big branding is very much a part of Gucci's identity. And maybe this isn't quite that, but the half horse bit motif does have that statement aspect. For me, is this a bag I'm gonna buy? No. If I'm gonna be real, this is probably a bag in 6 months you'll see at the outlets. And that's the problem with a lot of these extreme changes. Sure, if you go to the outlets, you could probably find the Alessandro collection, you could find the design team after the Sabato collection, and then in 6 months to a year, you'll also get this collection as well. I see what they're trying to do here. It kind of feels like they're looking at what is trending, the Romy, the 90s, let's include Gucci branding on it. It's not one I would personally go out now to buy. I would wait to find it at like an outlet personally. In terms of where you guys stand, 47% of you love it, 53% of you say not it. In terms of comments, I like how the horse bit being the one holding the strap instead of being the front part of the bag like others, but I wish it was more slouchy than boxy. Based on the runway, it does have like a slouch, like it kind of reminds me again of the Celine Romy or like the Prada bag that is like that and other styles that we've seen. Fendi had a bag like this as well. Maybe it's also because it's a little bit late to the game. Not that brands need to keep up with the trend, but I don't think Gucci's necessarily leading in this aesthetic either. Another comment, I was waiting for the small one to drop because it looked amazing on the runway, but I thought it would be handheld. Now I think it's a bit too small with the long strap. It's definitely one that you would want to try on in person. I think in general, shoulder bags, I feel 9 times out of 10, if you give me like the strap length on a crossbody, the dimensions, I kind of can have a sense of how I think a bag will look on me. Now how a bag will feel and how it will function, that's a little bit differently, but I always feel like shoulder bags, like the strap drop, how it feels on your shoulder, that's something I want to try on and get a sense of. Next, we've got the Louis Vuitton Touchline by Pharrell. So I was reading about this on the website. It's this new range and it's described as understated sophistication emerges in the new LV Touch leather goods line, inviting modern refinement through singular designs. Crafted from supple suede or smooth calfskin, the tonal bags are contemporary emblems of heritage savoir-faire, capturing Louis Vuitton's trunk making expertise. It kind of reminded me last year when on the women's side there was the low key line. Now Pharrell has the LV Touch line and it has this pocket with this stitched V. It's not as overt. It has at the corner the embossed Louis Vuitton, so it's just a touch of branding. When I look at this, it makes me think of the Hermes hack. Of course, the steamer style, it's a style that they've had since 1901, so it is part of the brand's heritage. It also does have that additional strap. There's that added functionality. There's also the Verso, Hobo, and the Delta Swing as part of this line. For me personally, when I look at this, I know that this is from the men's side, so I feel like it'd be more interesting to hear like men's perspectives than my perspectives. Just for me, for my personal aesthetic, it's too robust and too hardy looking. It's more in the direction of Hermes bags, but it's like more extreme. But again, this is geared towards mainly men. Of course, women can wear this. Again, handbags can be for any gender. Like I also feel like I'm the kind of person where I can't wear like really, I think about designs from Maria Grazia Curie at Dior or like Virginie Viard, like some designs were just a little bit too like pretty, and I actually kind of like the more quote unquote like masculine look of certain Hermes bags. But again, I think this is just a little bit, for me, a little bit too much in that direction. In terms of votes, 18% of you guys love this line, 82% of you say it's not it. I'd be curious to see like the men's perspective, because while I know this is not something I would go for, again, Louis Vuitton, they're well known for their branding, LV, the monogram, and then the damier prints, but I could see why this would be appealing for some of the guys. But again, it's not something I'm going to like go for. But in terms of the comments, someone says, I think it's a nice, more minimal bag from LV that still has some winks and unique features for men to wear. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a little bit more subtle. Another comment, what is that ugly patch on the side for? Kind of reminds me of a denim pocket or something. It is kind of a flat pocket. It doesn't seem like it would hold a lot. It serves like a decorative purpose, like also in this contrasting suede. I could see some of the guys wearing this, but because I think I like something that isn't so robust looking for me, and that's fine. I don't think I'm the customer anyways. So yeah, anyways guys, those were the bags I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for joining me in another one, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.